everybody. It's legend JJ Britt here with my special guest, an Eagle Lake alumni, guys. Guy that played here at Eagle Lake as a small kid growing up here at Eagle Lake. My buddy, Mr. Ronnie Richardson. How you doing, Ronnie?
Doing pretty good. How about you guys?
Good, bud. Good. It's good to see you, man. How, how
Likewise.
how's the season going so far?
Season's going, it's about development, right? So
Yeah.
the first half wasn't very good. Second half, we're sitting at 3 games in first place. So we're about to make this playoff push to finish the year.
Sounds like a winner, man. Sounds good. Hey, talk about a little bit about your past. Like I said, you're an Eagle Lake alumni. You played there most, if not all, of your childhood career. Um,
Yeah.
what do you remember about those days?
Oh man. Starting off at Eagle Lake, I started off at I didn't play T-ball. I started off with pitching machine. That was my first tryout. I remember showing up to the tryout and them asking me what position would I like to try out for. I only knew two positions on the field. That was pitcher and catcher. So I told him, I guess catcher. So that was the first position I tried out. And from there, just I love playing the game. So from that day on forward, I started playing, and then I started learning all the positions around the field.
So you after Eagle Lake, you went to Lake Region High School. One of still probably one of the best known names at Lake Region. A big standout there at the Thunder. Um, how was your talk about your high school days a little bit?
Yeah, so before I went to Lake Region, I went to All Saints for seventh and eighth grade.
Okay.
Got an opportunity to start high school baseball at a way younger age than most people, and I got 6 years of high school baseball. So we started there, and during that time, got to play first greats like McCutcheon and guys like that. And then I transferred over to Lake Region, which I lived right up the street growing up in Eagle Lake.
Yeah.
Um, we had a really good team. We had a really good team over
I,
there, guys that could play pretty good, and now a lot of business owners out of that team. But we talk about using your opportunities to learn what you want to do and taking your baseball career as far as you can, and then becoming a successful business owner or worker, whatever you want to be, basically.
well, you got some big news that we're going to talk about in a few minutes that involves Lake Region High School. So we'll get back to that. So in just a minute, talk about your drafting days. You got drafted twice, right?
3 times.
Three
I got
times.
drafted 3 times. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so basically I got drafted out of high school in the 11th round. I fell due to some signability issues, is what they claim it. Um, so I ended up pursuing college, going to college at University of Central Florida. There I got drafted my sophomore year by the Chicago Cubs. And then I turned that down to go back to school because we had one of the best teams in the country at the time. And I knew we had a chance to go to Omaha. So I went back with my brothers, and then we ended up choking my junior year in the regional. But out of that team, we had 8 guys drafted. So that just tells you the type of talent that was on that team. I ended up signing that year with San Diego Padres
Okay.
and start my professional career.
All right. All right. So let's get into you're now a coach in the Rays organization, correct?
Yep. Raised organization for the fourth year in a row. The rankings just came back out, I think 2 days ago, a day ago, that we now have the number one farm system again in baseball. So credit to all of my coworkers and staff of continue to develop these
That's
guys
cool.
year in and year out.
So that's cool. That's cool. All right. Well, let's dive right into this because man, we got a lot to talk about here, and I wanted to do the background check first or the background first. But man, you've got something. You've got it. First of all, you've got an organization called R2cares.org.
Yep.
And I'm gonna let you introduce it, man. What is r2cares.org? First of all, what is? I know it's a nonprofit and all that. Explain
Yep.
more about that, if you would.
So R2 Cares was created by myself with the vision to give back to the community. One thing that I've always done, even as a player, right? I think my impact is very contagious. My personality is contagious, and one thing that I always like empowering people, helping people. Right. I was blessed with some cool opportunities with from playing baseball. I mean, I went to Japan, Australia, Venezuela with Team USA as a kid. A lot of people don't have those opportunities, so I'm blessed to be able to have those. So through my career, I didn't make it to the big leagues, but one thing that I always wanted to do was, you know, help people achieve their goals or take them as far as they can through the sport.
Right.
Right. There's a lot of opportunity in this game, not just as a player, as a coach, as a front office representative, a scout, an agent. And if you just love the game, you can start a organization. It's just how do we keep people engaged in baseball, right? So the foundation I created is basically to inspire, give hope, and educate people about the whole process. We also have an initiative from the mental health standpoint to where we can help people overcome their childhood traumas and talk about those things that they're not comfortable talking about.
Right.
How can we get people to feel comfortable to talk to us? So that's basically a summary of kind of the organization as a whole. But some of the things that we aspire to do is through events, like I said, to educate people. If it's talking about opportunities within baseball, the mental health, or even just you know being mentors to people that just want to know what it's like,
Right.
and help them understand the process because we have a lot of people that's gone through the process that's part of this organization.
Right.
So they're human, we're human. We just want to be able to come back and give access to us and then just talk about some of the things that we did to help us in our path, you know?
And
So,
I'll put the website on the bottom here so everybody can go in and check it out. You're bringing R2 Cares home, I hear, in
yeah,
November, and we're so excited about it. I know you are to bring it to your home group, and you got some really cool things set up, and probably more now than the last time me and you talked.
yeah,
So so
yeah.
so you're coming in November. You're going to do a big event at Lake Region High School, and probably a couple other places. So go ahead, promote the heck out of it, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, so for me, it's very special because of my what I envisioned. It just started with just, you know, like what it is, a vision, right? And then some people was just like, man, you just got to do it. Turn to a nonprofit, keep doing it. You're doing God's work, right?
Right.
Um, it's been a couple times where I came back to Eagle Lake just to speak to a couple teams. I know Jake's done a phenomenal job. You guys as well. The whole Eagle Lake staff, man, to see how the growth that has taken place there has been tremendous to watch. And one thing that I want to do is I want to be a part of it, right?
Right.
Because so, like I talked about before, like Tim Asher is the best baseball player that I've played against and watched growing up from Eagle Lake. That's now a successful lawn guy. He has a successful lawn company. I did see that somewhere, but like you take those opportunities and you grow from them, right?
Right.
So for me to bring this event back home is very special, man. Hopefully to get guys like Carlos. I know he's out there doing lessons. The Wizard, he does great work in there. Trying to bring the coaches and the people that truly believe in development
Right.
all together in one place. Show that we can work together, and it's truly about the kids, helping them from not just from a baseball standpoint, but from a, just a growing as a man or as from the softball world. I know we're not going to leave the women out either, right? We
Yeah.
want to bring the women that play softball and give them hope as well. We're trying to bring everybody together. The reason why we chose to do it in November was because of Thanksgiving. It's about giving, right? And
Right.
it was perfect for us. Like, this is what we do. We want to give to the community, right? We want to talk about community engagement, coming together, giving hope. We don't know what people are truly going through. And through sports, it always finds some way to bring us all together and celebrate our small wins, no matter how big or small they are. But you have
Right.
to celebrate those wins. So that's why we wanted to bring it back to Eagle Lake. Um, I ran an event in last year in December, and it was in Lakeland. The original plans to do it in Lakeland, but through talking to Jake and yourself and Florida Southern got a new coach, and they weren't able to host us this year. And I talked to Crosby at Lake Region. He's like, "Of course, how can I be a part of it?" I'm like, "Well, this is the vision right now, and then to see it mature like it has, I'm really excited about."
So the dates again are November. I had it written down here.
So, okay, I'll just go ahead and get into that. So,
Yeah.
November 22nd, we're going to do a round table that's going to be hosted in Lakeland at Lake Mirror. The point of that round table, we're going to open it up to everyone. But the kids we select, we're going to select about 30 kids that we think can really impact on being around some of the professionals that we have coming. So we're going to talk from a mental health standpoint, how to navigate that. We're going to talk about opportunities within baseball, how to navigate the recruiting process, how to navigate agents and the NIL deals from a branding standpoint, right? We're also going to talk about some basic like financial literacy to help those guys understand, how to
Right.
balance a checkbook, and that impact. I think that's something that we miss in the school systems today. So we're going to try to bring that to these guys. So the next morning on November 23rd, we're going to do a kids camp, which is completely free, right? We're going to do it from about 9 to about noon. And while that transition happens from noon to about 2-ish, we're going to give away turkeys. Um, and I just think by, we're doing our little part, right?
Yeah.
There's so many people that can be out here doing this, but we want to do our part. So we're going to donate some turkeys, and then after we do the turkey giveaway, those same 30 kids that we invited, we will give them like some community hours for helping us out there from a volunteer standpoint. But that's our way of showing these kids, no matter how big or how popular you get, right? There's also to show gratitude to where you're from and always show that.
Right.
I think it's a great thing. Something that I
Absolutely.
see, yeah, something I see all the time is guys from Polk County, man, like they go get drafted or they play in Orlando. Nobody comes back. How can we bring our people back to Polk County and want to give to the next generation of
I
leaders?
I agree 100% there. Yeah. We need to get
So
some of those guys back to be mentors to, I mean, it's good to be mentors all over the place, in the town you got drafted in or what have you. But I'd like to see them come back home, and that's what you're doing. And we appreciate that. But it's something really cool that you're doing. And I'd like to see more guys from Polk County just come back and do stuff around the county.
yeah, and I'm like for me, man, it's just like we want to bring everybody. Like you don't have to be an athlete. You could be a
Yeah.
successful business owner, right? But through sports, what did it teach you? And one thing I know about employers is they want the athletes because we're used to working in teams,
Right.
right? We have a drive to be successful. We deal with failure every day playing the game of baseball, right? So that shows you life skills. So that's why we're trying to do this. And I encourage everybody like to get involved. Come back. Let's have these conversations. Let's teach these kids how to be great humans, right? That's one thing that I always pride myself on. I think I'm a stand-up guy, right? Also, I just love helping people. I've served people. I used to give lessons for like $20, right? Even though I think I could have probably got more, it's never been about that for me.
Yeah.
It's about how can I make it affordable for these kids to come and me give back what I've learned over the years. Not by any means do I think I'm the best, right? But I do believe I'm the best at showing them that I care. showing them that I believe in them. And sometimes giving hope and having that confidence will bring out the best in that player anyways.
Well, one of the things that I will say about you is watching you grow up as a kid in the Eagle Lake, and then even when I followed your career at Lake Region and then at UCF and then in the minors, you were probably one of the best teammates around. You would always, you're to me, it looked like your goal was to make sure everybody around you was better every time they walked on the field. And I appreciate that with you, and that's one of the cool factors, one of many cool factors about you. But
Yep.
we ain't gonna get into your speed. That was just unbelievable. But
Oh, okay.
um, but that's the thing that I like about it though is baseball teach you don't have to go make the pros, you know,
Yeah.
to let this kind of blend into to learn what you learn goes into life, period. It's not about being in the pros and but what you do in your job, your everyday 9 to 5, what you do in your family life, baseball teaches that, in my opinion, and you're a great ambassador of that, man. And it's been an honor seeing where you how much you've grown and and now you're back wanting to help, and I love it, dude. Absolutely love it. So November 23rd is the kids camp and the Thanksgiving turkey,
Yes.
the turkeys. So what's next after that?
So that's a great question, first off, because I don't want this to get confused with, oh, they're just doing this event. They're going to bring it annually, right? My vision and our vision for the foundation is to be able to provide after school programs, right? Help kids with SAT, further education. If they're struggling in that, don't be afraid to speak up. We want to find those programs that we can send these kids to get the help that they need, right?
Right,
Because without your education, you won't be able to play a ball at all.
right,
No way. Nobody's going to recruit you. You're not going to play high school ball. So how can we help from that standpoint? Right. The next part of that is we want to be able to assist those families, right?
right.
That they work extremely hard, but we know how the economy is right now. We want to be able to assist with league fees. Like you mentioned, you have 600 guys signed up to play, or guys and girls, because I saw you guys did just start a softball league, and I think that's awesome that we're not leaving anybody out,
No,
right? So how can we assist some of these families that can't afford the equipment? Baseball is an expensive sport. We want to be able to
absolutely.
provide like baseballs. Like I remember donating some baseballs a year ago to the ballpark. I don't need that credit, but how can we put people in position to be successful if they don't have the proper equipment? So we want
Right.
to help them with equipment, uniforms if need be, park fees, park dues. We want to be able to assist in those categories, right? So that's something we're working towards as well. Working towards like for further education and like guys that have an opportunity to go see college baseball games to see if they even want to do it, because I think by seeing those guys on the field, it gives guys hope, but
Oh,
also it could be like, man, I have to work harder if I want to be
yeah.
on that field where they're at.
It could push them. It could push them to the next level.
It puts it in perspective,
Yeah.
So we want to be able to provide those opportunities to sing families, not just the players, the kids, the parents. How are these parents acting when their kid get these scholarships, right? What about going to professional baseball games or spring training, minor league games? The difference between little league, high school, college, minor leagues, and the big leagues, it's all the same game, right?
Yeah.
But there's one thing that I always like to tell people: the speed of the game happens so much faster as you climb the ladder, and the guys that always rise to the top are the guys that has the ability to make the adjustments the fastest and can handle failure. because you have to be mentally strong in order to play this game.
Right.
If you're crying after every at bat, I'm here to tell you, you won't play very long. You have to have short-term memory when you're playing baseball, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're worried about the last at bat, now you're carrying that over into the field, that ball will find you and you will make an error. Now you're spiraling down. So how can we have short-term memory to forget that and just move on? Because you're gonna have 3 or 4 at bats a game. If you let the first one affect you, now your whole game's screwed up.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
So
So the last time we talked, you talked about there's going to be some special guests possibly showing up. Did that get cleared up any?
yeah, man. So I know right now the biggest one. He has family in Bartow. I don't know who, but he does have family in Bartow. Denard Span,
Oh
which is
wow.
he's a 14, 15-year-old, 15-year league big leaguer. One thing that I loved about having him join us was he's one of the most humble, down to earth people I think I've ever met. I mean, not gonna go into how much money he made in his career, but like to be able to have conversations with him, to see what he does from his foundation standpoint, he gives away cars throughout the year to single mothers, single dads, just to be able to help them provide transportation to get the kids to, practice or
Yeah.
school or the school function, just to have reliable transportation. So if there's any car dealerships and banks out there that want to partner, he's open to conversations. We want to be able to provide that from the Arthur Cares Foundation. We have some coaches from the Yankees that's dedicated to coming out just to being around, right? We have a coach with the Rays that's going to come out. Hezekiah Randolph's going to come out and help give instruction. They're going to be on the field giving your kids instruction, right?
Awesome.
Um, who else? Let me see. Chris Sale, we're working on that. He's a big advocate for our foundation. I know he will be in
That's
town.
going to depend on if he's going to be a little bit busy by that time. I mean, I know season is going to be over, but I'm sure after after the season, there's a little bit of a gap there, so
Yeah, well, I know he'll be in town on November 1st through 3rd for sure at the Evan Chambers baseball tournament that's going to
yeah,
happen in Lakeland. So he will be in town then. We're working on him getting him out there, but not just those guys like that. They're cool to be out there to see how humble they are, but they're going to be working hand in hand with your kids.
yeah,
I think that's the most important takeaway from this, right? Um, we will have, like I mentioned, someone from the Yankees, James Cooper, which is a manager from the Yankees organization. He will be there, and we're working on a lot more cool people. D. Gordon may come out. He has a farm in Fort Meade. But most importantly, to get guys from our own community, right? Let's
yeah,
talk about Rosario. Talk to Rosario about it, the wizard, and he's like, absolutely, I'll come out and help,
yeah,
right? I got to reach out to Carlos. I know you could help with that. We want
yep.
him part of it, right? Everybody that has their
And
travel organizations,
and
like,
Carlos and Wilfredo will jump right on it. I know they will.
yeah,
So
we want this is about giving, right? We want everybody to be able to see guys. Carlos played,
yeah,
um, the wizard played, right?
yep,
Pedro Bieto played. We're going to come together, help out, giving back to the community. And then if you have any questions about development, if you have any questions about life, what it's like, they're going to be give you full access to them. And I think that's the most important thing about this, right? I do think the Wizard and Pedro actually have a camp that following week, which we would hope that the kids will love what we're doing so much. They go sign up to get more baseball. They're off that week. So
yep.
hopefully they sign up and continue playing because baseball, you got to do it all the time. Softball, you got to do it all the time if you want to rise to the top. So we want to bring out as many people as possible that we can at least show impact and change kids' lives.
Um, so last time we talked, there was talks of a possible celebrity softball game.
Yes, we're still working on that. That's still in the works. To be honest, I prefer to do like a concert of some kind,
Okay,
instead of the celebrity softball game, but
okay,
we're still working out those details.
okay.
But For me, the main thing is giving the kids everything that we have.
Right.
That when they leave that camp, if we can inspire a kid, like, man, you know what? I can do this. I want to go be a major league ball player, right? That's the ultimate goal. But it's okay if I don't get to the big leagues. I'm
Right.
gonna take my talents and let them take over and take me as far on the journey as I can go. And then if I don't make it, guess what? I have this because this is my background, then my backup plan, right? That's okay to have that. Like it's reality. And if I go into the numbers about how many kids actually go play college baseball, right? And then they're not even lower to the guys that go and play professional baseball. So already we're at a disadvantage, right? But being at a
Absolutely.
disadvantage is not saying that we can't do it.
Absolutely.
So that's the biggest thing for me. Chip Lawrence is going to be there. Chip Lawrence is the special assistant to scouting with the Detroit Tigers and special assistant to the general manager. So this guy has the ability to sign a kid from
Yeah.
high school, right? Like real signing power, right? He's going to be there. He has a program out of St. Pete that he provides opportunities to keep costs down. It's called Pro Youth Foundation to help kids get into opportunities to get in front of scouts and college coaches that typically won't have those opportunities unless they play for a program like this. We all know the cost of travel baseball right now.
Yeah.
It's getting ridiculous. Like how are we supposed to afford $3,500 a year for a kid just to go play in 4 tournaments or whatever? I don't even know the schedule of all these travel teams, but
Yeah.
with our program, what we're trying to do is to identify those players that have that ability, right? But also identify those kids that may be a tick below and put them in our programs or send them to the proper training, align them with the right coaches that can get the best out of them.
Right.
So
Um, so that's cool, dude. What what's your ultimate goal with this thing, with this program or this event? I know you
so
talked a lot about the teaching and getting the kids um not the knowledge up and stuff. So, but what is, for you, what's the ultimate goal for Ronnie Richardson out of this event?
for me, the ultimate goal is to be able to provide hope, educate, and opportunities for not just the kids, parents. Maybe we give them some information that unlocks something in them that they go and pursue a career that they were scared to take,
Right.
right? So we want to provide hope and give education to everyone. It's not just the kids, but the kids is the main goal because, like, for us, if they want to do something, they can do it.
Yeah.
But you have to have supportive parents. You have to have a support system, right? So we want to be able to provide a support system for the kids to pursue their other opportunities. So with this foundation, the ultimate goal is that, right? How can we impact people? And then for the next part of that is how can we impact people so much that they want to continue being in our program, but also do their own programs, right? And later on, we can collab and just how can we just impact? That's really what this is about.
Right. All right. So we're a little bit of time here. Where are you at now? Are y'all on a home stretch or what's
Actually, we're on the road in Kannapolis, North Carolina, playing the White Sox organization. So,
okay?
yeah, I'm actually at the field right now. I normally get to the field really early.
So okay, so talk about that for just a minute. So it's especially going up there the big leagues. It ain't just the players, the coaches too. You have to be there early to game plan for the day, right? I mean, it's
Yep,
not just show up at game time, get on the field, play ball. You
yep.
actually have to get there early to game plan and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, we have to be prepared for one the opponent that we're playing against, right? From a scouting standpoint, what are the pitchers doing? What type of pitcher we're facing? hey, what are these tendencies? Do this team bunt, right? We got all that stuff to think about, but also we have to prepare our players to put them in the best position to be successful.
And every game's different, right?
For the most part, but we like to focus on the fundamentals. As long as you're playing fundamentally sound baseball, you're going to be in games. From a pitching standpoint, number one goal, throw strikes, be around the zone,
Right.
right? Offensively, score more runs than the other team, right? So
That's the
whatever,
ultimate goal.
yeah,
So how big of a deal is it? You hear, obviously kids are watching baseball on TV, they're watching YouTube channels, and so one of the things that I find interesting, especially up there in the bigs, um, is a pitcher's got to look at, they got to study each batter, uh, and I watched a really cool episode with Tom Glavine the other day, saying that with him and Barry Bonds back in the day, and
yeah,
Glavine made one mistake inside, and Bonds put it in McCovey Cove out there. And he's like, I should have never thrown. Glavine's like, I should have never thrown that pitch. I knew better than throw that pitch. So what is so does that really happen? Does pitchers really have to go through and look at every batter and kind of know where their hot spots are and stuff like that?
yeah. It's two sides to that, right? Glavin talked about that, and we like our guys to pitch to their strengths, right? Because if you start to like nibble around, that's something that's not your strength, you're gonna get hit anyways.
Right.
So you want to be able to do that. But I mean, we're talking about Barry Bonds, one of the greatest hitters of all time. You know how to get him out is not pitch to him, but everything is safe. So like on a day to day, yeah, you have to strategize for certain batters like that and come up with a game plan and stick to it. If you get beat with your game plan, the next time you face him, it may not be tomorrow. Pitchers, some guys are on a 5-man rotation from a starter standpoint. Some guys may be on a 6-man rotation. The relievers may throw back to back nights. So you have to remember that and strategize throughout the year because you may not face him tomorrow. You may face him, halfway through the season or in the playoffs. So you have to remember those at bats. So those are the types of things you got to do.
So on that, you were a great center fielder. I think you played some. I think played some second base a little bit as well.
Yeah, short. I played
And
all over the
short.
field.
So one of the questions that one of our players asked me, and I figured I'd throw it right to you since you're a really good defender. You watch the games, and every once in a while, especially I've seen it a lot in college, but you'll see that the player reach in his back pocket and bring out an index card and look on that index card.
Yeah.
So the player was like, "What are they looking at when when they're looking? What's on that card? Is it like plays depending on batters and where you're supposed to be on that play or whatever?"
Yeah, I would tell that player right there, don't worry about that right now, but I will give you kind of what's on that card. The game is now turned to analytics, right? So we have a bunch of information through thousands of at bats, right? You kind of formulate this plan of who that player is and his tendencies of where he hits the ball.
Okay.
So those are typically position charts,
Okay.
right? Hey, go in 3 or play left side, play pull side, or move this guy oppo in the outfield. That's really what those cards are telling those guys. So
Okay.
it's taking the thinking away from a lot of guys, but at the lower levels, at the little league level, they need to focus on reading swings. If a guy's late, take a step to the oppo side,
Right.
right? If this guy's only pulling the baseball, well, maybe we'll play a step or two towards the pull side. But that's part of the thinking part that we want our younger generation to start thinking about, right?
Yeah.
Because for one, we don't have enough information at the little league or even the high school level or even college. Sometimes college, they don't even have enough information, right? So how you don't know how accurate the information will be if you
Right.
don't have the information,
Right.
right? But also it gets deeper than that. I'll go a little bit, scratch the surface a little bit. What if that guy's in August and he's tired? and we have a guy throwing 100, which we have guys in this locker room throwing 100, and he's late. Now he's going to be a little late. Maybe we'll play a step towards the opposite way.
I got you.
So it's always a strategy. It's always you got to be a student of the game. If you're not a student of the game, right,
Yeah.
then I don't know what to call you. So, but if you're a student of the game, you know, it's always information. It's not always going to be like the absolute, right? Hey, he's absolutely going to hit this ball here. Whoa, he just threw a slider that broke like some nasty stuff, and he hit a ball to right field, which he never does. Well, it's August, his body's tired, his bat's moving slow, and he's late. We gotta go. We gotta just take that.
Sounds good. All right, bud. Well, guys, this is Ronnie Richardson.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Before we go, we'll just take you. Let me see if I can find some stuff. Okay, here we go. Right. We talked about strategy, right? So I get to the field. This is a run chart, right, with all of their pitchers on it, and I have tendencies that they tend to do to the plate. That's why we steal bases at an unbelievable level, right? We'll take you around real quick. Our
I got about,
managers in
got
here.
about 2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes. Right?
Uh-oh. I lost
I
him.
got
Oh, your camera went off.
Oh, I don't know why. Check. Oh, it says I'm in. Oh,
There he goes.
okay. I'm okay. So we're at the field. That's the clubhouse guy getting to work. You know.
There you go. Look at here,
This is
guys.
where the
This
guys.
is
This is where the
backstage.
guys come. You know, they come in and get their reps to prepare for the game under the tunnel. We go out here. I'm trying to work this as fast as possible. You see, we're playing the White Sox organization right now. One of their players in there. So I won't say what I was gonna say. But here we are. Let's see if I can turn this camera around. I don't know. Oh, here we go. This is the stadium that we're in for our series
That
here.
is cool.
So here you go. The guys are out here working, getting the field ready for a 7 o'clock game. So you see, it's there you
That's
go.
awesome, dude. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate the tour, and I appreciate your time, brother. And we'll get the information out here, and we can't wait to see you in November, bud.
R2cares.org, R2cares on Instagram and social media, Facebook, all of that. We will be rolling out a lot of information here in the next week. The kids camp has 20 kids signed up. The early birds get the worm, right? So make sure you sign up.
Yep. All right, bud. Thanks a lot, man. Have a great day.
All right. See you.
See you, buddy.
Thank you.